Hello everyone, I wanted to make a video series talking about every Atari 8-bit computer that was ever made. I buy and resell and collect Atari computers. I get a lot of these in and I deal with them a lot, so I kind of wanted to make a video talking about the features of these machines and if I recommend them or not. So kind of like a review, I guess. The Atari 400 was released alongside the Atari 800 in 1979, and this was like the entry-level machine. Apparently, really early models only came with 4K of RAM. I've never, ever seen one of those. Most of these you're going to see have 16K of RAM on board, which we'll get into in a minute. It was kind of an issue for playing a lot of the games. So here's what the computer looks like. It's pretty small. Here's my hand, just a normal sized hand. It's not a huge computer, especially for the time period. Got the nice Atari 400 logo here, and you got a lever here. This one's a little discolored. Ignore that. You can see it opens up, and this is where you're going to put your game in. You can see left cartridge, so you can see which way you'd orient the game in. And when we get to the Atari 800, that will make even more sense of what the left cartridge is for. And you can see the cartridge slot, just like all Atari systems pretty much, has the two little prongs that will open up the dust protectors in the cartridge. These machines also have this little metal shielding. This often comes off. You can see this one's a little loose. It's just for RF interference. It's really not needed nowadays. And you can see here, there's a little button and there's a little plastic piece right here. What that does is it depresses this button down and tells the computer that the lid's closed. When this computer is powered on, it can't be powered on when the lid's open, which is really nice. You can leave the computer on. Let's say you want to change it to a different game. Pop this open, computer shuts off. You remove your game, put a new game in, and close the computer lid just like that. This machine also does have 4 controller ports, which was only shared with the Atari 800. Like I said, we'll get into in the next video. Here on the side, you can see our ports. This is Atari's SIO connection, is what they called it. It's basically like a USB predecessor to USB. And this is for disk drives, printers, all kinds of interfaces. Atari sold tape drives as well that would have been more commonly used with the Atari 400. Because of the issue you're not going to see many disk drive software for this because of the 16K of RAM. Most games that are on disk require 48K of RAM, at least from what I've experienced. So this would have mainly been used if you were using a floppy disk for saving your programs and stuff like that. Got our power switch. This would also be used for modems as well. Many things. Basically anything that's SIO, this could be used with. Got our little toggle power switch here and our power jack. This computer uses the same power supply as the Atari 800, so that's nice as well. Here's the back of the machine. No more ports back here. All of the ports are on the side, which is kind of nice. This is our channel select switch. I believe it's channel 3 and 2. And then you'll see in the vents of the computer, a lot of people probably don't know about this, that little hole right there is what you're seeing. There's a board in the back of this computer. It's like the CPU board. It has a potentiometer on it that lets you adjust the color. So you actually can stick a skinny screwdriver in through here, and if your colors are a little off, you can adjust it that way. So that's really nice. This computer, the only video output it has, this is another downfall of this machine, is RF. So you'll need to get an RF adapter and put it on here and screw it into your TV. The good thing about it is that these, because of their awesome shielding that is inside, have really good, and they're high quality cable as well. That helps as well. Really good RF quality on these, and honestly, like you definitely get by with using this if you're using a CRT. This side of the machine literally has nothing. And at the bottom, you're gonna see your serial number, model number, and stuff like that. So here's the sticker for this particular machine. And you can see this one is made in Hong Kong. Interesting. There's nothing on the computer externally that will signify how much RAM you have. You'll have to boot it up and do a RAM test, which is not very hard to do. What do I think of this computer? I think this is a great computer to buy. Actually, before I get into that, we never talked about the keyboard. I kind of just glossed over it. It has, there's no feedback to it, at least not physically. This computer has a built-in speaker, which will make a noise when you get a key press, which does help when typing. It makes it feel a lot nicer. These keys are raised. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you, but basically these white little outlines around them are actually raised. As you can see, you can feel it with your fingers. So that's also helps in typing. And this is definitely a step up from something like the Odyssey 2. But it's definitely the worst keyboard in the Atari 8-bit lineup. So if you're planning on doing a lot of typing and programming, this is not the machine for you. And these buttons here are really only used for games, pretty much. And some like business software as well use them. So you got your start, your select options. So a lot of these would change like players or like difficulty or what level you're starting on, stuff like that. And we have our reset button, which resets the computer. So yeah, like I was saying, do I recommend this machine? If you are someone who is just looking to collect Atari 8-bit cartridge games, and this will play pretty much all of them. There's a few later releases that were for the XEGS that require more RAM, but this is going to play the huge majority of games. If you have a CRT and you're just interested in those arcade cartridge games, yes, I love this. I actually really do like this machine. It's well built, and it's a really good, I like more considered a game console. I really like the fact that you can easily switch out the cartridges and it shuts off on its own. I think that's a really cool feature. And yeah, I really like the look of this machine. I think it really looks cool. And if you're not gonna use the features of the Atari 800 computer, like the benefits of the better keyboard and the RAM and all that stuff, and the better video output, if you don't care about all that stuff and you just want to play some games on your 1980s RF television, this is great. This is a good way to do it. It's going to have better RF quality than even like the 800XL and some of the later machines. So if you want to use RF, this is actually a really good one to do that with. If you don't care about floppy disk games, which you may not. If you don't, this is a awesome machine. It also has the 4 joystick ports. The only game I can think of that I think that used the 4 ports might have been Asteroids, like that's on cartridge. I can't even think of anything else. Like Mule requires more RAM, so you couldn't run that on this machine. These are upgradable, but nothing was official by Atari, at least not that I've heard of. So yeah, that was a quick look at the machine. I have an Atari 400 kiosk, actually, like the in-store demo kiosk. If you have not seen that video, check it out. It's a really awesome display. I just kind of wanted to, I'll use that computer to show you guys like it powering up and everything like that, and to show the auto shut off with the lid. So let's get into that now. Okay, so here's my Atari 400 setup. There's also one more thing really important that I forgot to mention, and that is that this machine does not have built-in BASIC, and we'll show that in a second. But that really does not matter unless you're trying to play tape games or you're trying to play games off of floppies. And not even all floppy games require BASIC, but a lot of them do. So the power switch here, you can see the computer has a power LED and will turn on just as any other computer does. You can see this RF output is really good, and this TV is nothing special. It's a GE from, I believe, mid-80s, maybe early 80s, I forget. The RF quality is really good, like I mentioned before, and you can see when I flip the lever here, the machine will shut off. You could insert a cartridge, and you'll be on your way. So here's an example of what the key sounds like when you're pressing. This is, I'll mute the TV, so the TV is totally muted right now. Actually, we'll turn the TV off, just to eliminate that. If you press down on the keys, you can hear a little beep, which just kind of confirms that you made a full key press. So basically, this Atari computer memo pad, it really has no purpose other than to show your computer's working pretty much. You can type stuff in, but as far as I know, there's no way to save it to tape or disk or anything like that. For that, you will need the basic cartridge. And here's what the basic cartridge looks like. So basically, everyone who owned one of these probably would have had this back in the day. Just insert it, and now you have basic. You can see the ready prompt there, and you can type your commands. You can see I have a pretty large selection of Atari 8-bit games. So this will play all of these. One thing to mention is that, particularly on the Atari 400, the cartridge slot is really tight for certain types of games. Like some of these third-party, like the Sega games and the Parker Brothers games, are just a little tighter than you'd expect. That one wasn't too bad, but just keep that in mind. Sometimes it will be a tight squeeze to get the cartridges in. So let's put in our good old ET so you guys can get an example of music and graphics. you can see the graphics are actually pretty nice. And this game is a lot different than the 2600 version, but I'm not going to get into gameplay here. Our main purpose of these videos is going to be discussing the hardware. So yeah, again, I really do like this machine. Is it my #1 choice of what I would choose for an Atari 8-bit computer? No, it's not. But if you want that authentic experience of the first version, I guess, of the Atari computer that people would have been using back in the day, this is a good way to do it. And like I said, it's nice for cartridge games. It'll play all of them very well. And yeah, here's another for my rare games. Bounty Bob Strikes Back. Really hard, really hard game. If you guys haven't played this one, you should. But yeah, I really like this computer. I think it looks cool and it works well. And as long as you're not trying to do floppy disks, that's the moral of the video. So anyway, if you guys enjoyed, thanks so much for watching, and stay tuned. I'm going to be uploading more videos like this, more kind of review style videos, I guess you could say. If I had to give this a star rating out of 10, I would say a 7 out of 10. It's good, but it has some definitely glaring flaws compared to the other later machines. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.